This is the stuff the 22 review does not want you to see. Hello everyone, welcome to Student Spotlight. This is our second episode and I intend on having a new one out every week or so. In Student Spotlight, I sit down with a student doing something interesting or inspiring in the community to try and gain some insight into how they do what they do. On today's episode, I'm talking with senior Abby Capalbo. Abby's on the show today because of her super cool senior project, a magazine entirely starring North Kingstown High School's class of 2022. Sort of a turbo version of a yearbook, the magazine will feature photos, art, and interviews with seniors. It's meant to feel much more personal to our senior year than the standard yearbook and has gained quite a lot of traction with the grade because of that. So, Abby, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, go right ahead.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Abby. Nick, you put it very well, what I'm trying to do with my senior project, the 22 review. I'm super excited to be interviewed today. This is a lot of fun.
All right, awesome. I'm excited too. So tell me, what was the inspiration behind your senior project?
I was very inspired by doing yearbook my junior year with Miss Holcroft. It was a lot of fun. I've always been very into journalism and writing in general. So it was really cool to go and meet with people around school. And I always appreciated graphic design and the aspects of digital, artsy media, but I've never really had the chance to get in on it. So yearbook was a really fun opportunity to do so. And I was also inspired by a magazine I followed when I was younger in my teenage years called Rookie Magazine. It's since been archived, but it's been a huge source of stylistic inspiration for me throughout my magazine process.
That's interesting. And if I remember correctly, you have a passion for journalism, right? Has that played into this project at all?
Indeed, yeah. I've always been very passionate about writing, and next year I plan to major in journalism at the University of Rhode Island. And yearbook and the magazine I talked about previously and my senior project definitely prompted me to decide to major in that for my career one day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. And considering that this project has been this whole big year-long process, right? What would you say has been the biggest hardship that you've faced, if any?
I think the most difficult thing so far has been trying to gather content from students. It's difficult to be able to reach every single person or student body. I want to say the senior class this year has around 400 people, give or take. And it's been really difficult trying to represent everyone as best as I could. I haven't had too much luck with being able to reach everyone, but I think I've had a good amount of people submit content, whether it's pictures, artwork, or answering questions on a Google survey I passed out a couple weeks ago. I've had some decent responses, or a decent amount of responses, but I think that's something that is a struggle for a lot of people with their senior projects, just being able to reach as many people as possible, so it's a collaborative event.
Yeah, I see. When doing research for this episode here, I checked your senior project Instagram page. It has 100 and how many followers? 70?
Right now, actually. Let me take a look.
Yeah, go for it. Real time fact checking.
Pause real quick. 159 followers.
Wow. That's far and away the most that I've seen for any sort of senior project.
I really have to thank my friends the most for this. They've been really on school or on social media, just reposting the things that I post on the Instagram. And that's been the most helpful because maybe they follow people who don't follow me or vice versa. So we're able to spread the word more around the school.
For sure. Getting your friends' help is so nice, and especially with the senior project, everyone's kind of in the same boat and everyone's all oh, let me help you. And everyone's generally pretty nice about it.
Absolutely. I think we're all under the same amount of pressure and stress. So if we can help each other out as much as possible, it just makes the whole thing a little bit easier.
Oh, yes, we are. We are under a lot of stress with this.
Oh, yeah.
But that stress is almost over, right? So as we move towards the end of the senior project period, how has the 22 review changed from the initial planning phase in October, November, December to now?
Originally, I wanted to have multiple printed copies of my magazine, but the more I've gone through the planning process and realized how many pages I want to include, what different like types of content I want to include, I just realized it wouldn't be possible for me to print copies for everyone who wanted them around the school. So I've decided to just do one copy printed, put it in my senior project portfolio, turn that in, and then pass out the magazine digitally through PDF, through email, or on the senior project Canvas page instead. Might be easier for people to access digitally instead of just having a hard copy that they could get lost or that they could lose. What else? It was a struggle trying to figure out what like program I wanted to use to create my magazine. I was originally going to hand make the entire thing and then scan it into my computer and upload it digitally, but I do a lot of extracurriculars and I also work, so I just really didn't have the time to make an entire 50-page magazine by hand and then scan that. So I ended up settling on using the program Canva, which is super easy to use, and I've really gotten a handle on it, and it's just been a lot of fun to use because they have a lot of very fun backgrounds and graphics.
Yeah, that really does sound like a lot of fun. And besides that, what has your project taught you and what have you enjoyed about making it?
I really enjoyed getting into the graphic design process. It's definitely been a learning curve trying to figure out like where to position things on a page, or if like something looks good on the screen, but then when I print it, it's grainy or blurry or something. That's been so much fun being able to experiment with different form and shapes and like colors, and really finding my like style digitally. But a big, I'm sorry, what was the other part of the question?
What has your project been able to teach you?
Oh yeah. It taught me that it's okay to cry. It's been really stressful, and I've been doing my very best not to procrastinate it, which has been a bit of a struggle. I think that's something we've all been experiencing throughout this process, especially with deadlines and how different English teachers are presenting the project and the deadlines. I've had to definitely rush a few things, but I think in the end it's all going to turn out really well.
So yeah, I guess an interesting follow-up to that is, do you think, not for the project as a whole, but you have months for that, but assignment to assignment deadline, do you think we have enough time for that? What is your opinion there?
This is a great question because I've thought a lot about this since senior project was like introduced to me as a sophomore and junior. I think, sorry, my family just walked in. I think that they should have introduced the project to us more our junior year. So throughout the maybe Q4 and the summer, we could really decide and figure out what type of project we'd be doing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my sister keeps looking at me and laughing. I think there should be a definite rubric that the teachers follow to introduce the project to their students, because I've heard a lot of complaints from other classes about how their teachers have been presenting deadlines and just how to do the work logs or what they want in their portfolio. I know my English teacher, Mr. Rosewell, has been pretty laid back on it, which I appreciate. He's definitely given us a lot of time to work on stuff, and he's given us many resources to look through, to reach out for help. But I know some of my friends who have other teachers have had complaints that their teachers have not introduced it at all, and they don't have any time in class to work on it.
Right.
Or that their teachers haven't been clear on maybe how to write the annotated bibliography or how to do just the more academic processes of the project. So I don't know. I think if the teachers had a clearer way to present it to their students, it would make it a lot less stressful for everyone involved.
All right, so I guess that kind of leads into our next topic here, right? So around the same time that this interview is going to come out, I'm releasing an article about the senior project, just what people think about work logs, what people think about the stress level that it gives them, just all around opinions about the senior project. So tell me, what do you think about the senior project, like as a concept?
I think as a concept, it seems like a good idea, but once you get down to it, it's a lot more to take in and process. especially since teachers have different ways of presenting it to their students and giving them time to work on it. I think if we could replace the senior project with something else, I would suggest doing an internship across the grade levels. I did one, I'm in the business CTE program, so I did one this summer, and I think I learned a lot more not real life skills, but skills I'll need after high school than the senior project has taught me. I think the senior project has been a good academic project, but I think an internship would be able to combine academics as well as skills we'll need in the workplace or in college and just in general adult life.
Yeah, for sure. So just that was our last question. So before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to shout out, like your senior project page? Tell us where people can find it. Tell us everything.
Yeah, I have an Instagram page where I post updates. I haven't posted in a little bit because I've been chugging away on actually creating the magazine. You can follow it at the 22 Review Senior Project on Instagram. Yeah, go give it a follow, go like some posts, go share it on your story. I'll be posting there pretty soon as well with little updates on how the magazine is looking, because I would love as much feedback as possible, so it's as collaborative as possible. And obviously go check out the Benja blog. How could we forget?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
All right, yeah, so that's going to be a wrap on today's episode of Student Spotlight. I'd like to once again thank Abby Capalbo for joining us today. Like she said, if you're interested in learning more about her project, you can follow her on Instagram at the 22 Review Senior Project. That's the numerical 22, not spelled out. And for more episodes of Student Spotlight and other videos and articles on whatever I feel like this week, you can head over to thebenjablog.com. I'll be updating the website frequently with new content, so be sure to check it out. You can also follow the Instagram account at the Benja blog to be the first to know about future articles and videos and when they're released. I recently released an article on the Batman, and there's going to be a discussion podcast sort of thing going out with that very soon. Should be right around when this article is releasing. There's that senior project article that's coming out, and a few more things. So that's all I have for you today. Make sure to check that all out. This is Nick Benjamin of thebenjablog.com, and thank you for listening.